So you have several reports about the account of what transpired yesterday. In fact, there are those who now say that, look, even scriptwriters may not have scripted a better drama for a drama series, but what you saw is real. Honorable Zachary Mohammed is the Chairman, House Committee on Media and Public Affairs. He joins us this morning to give us his perspective of what transpired. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you. Good morning.
Well, quite shocking. Many describe this, what we see playing out and will see playing out in many news medium for some time to come. What's your account of what happened yesterday?
Well, thank you very much. I would just describe the development yesterday as one of those very unfortunate missteps in our history, because it started with first the withdrawal of Speaker's policemen and the security details after moving from one party to the other. And of course, that was discriminatory, because there before our very eyes there are people or governors who have shifted camps and of course have maintained all the privileges extended to their offices.
But the law is silent on governors.
Yeah?
Isn't the law silent on governors?
No, let me tell you, it depends on how you want to look at it. Because let me tell you, the issue of cross-carpeting and of course all that follows it is the responsibility of the courts. That situation, the IG has turned himself even to the interpreter of law. Section 68(1)(g) that they are quoting, go there and read it. It does not expressly or state that you should withdraw privileges to that.
But the matter is before the courts now, isn't it?
It's before the, so that will be sub judice. Then, of course, we heard that a letter was written to Mr. Speaker by Mr. President asking for extension of the emergency rule. You recall that we started the emergency rule, giving the emergency rule to the trouble areas of the Northeast in May 2013. And having said that, from May 2013, we had 3 extensions. And of course, if that yesterday's one had scaled through, would have been the 4th in the series. But of course, we had to call ourselves back from our recess because we have been doing oversights and some other committee activities. We arrived in company of the Speaker at the gate, and the Speaker had cause to introduce himself. I am Aminu Waziri Tambo, Speaker of the House of Representatives. Can I have access to the assembly so that I can go and preside over the day's issue? And nobody was answering. The policemen, everybody just was adamant. And at that point, it was very clear to us that maybe the sponsors of that Shameless Act maybe had an agenda. And part of the agenda could be that they are not interested in the letter, the contents of the letter they wrote to us, because if you ask a man to come and perform a particular function, at some point you're making Armstrong, preventing him from doing his duties, then of course even the entire intention is not is questionable.
No, but it's not been established who, if the IG was acting out.
Wherever, let me tell you, Chamberlain, we need to be very, very clear-headed here in this matter. The police is not a vigilante group or a collection of Boy Scouts that you can, at your own peril, as an individual, that there must be a command order. That because we go in and out of the National Assembly all the time. That's not the kind of security we're used to. And if you are coming to a man's house to protect him, you should give him notice that, okay, because of XYZ threats, we're expected that members will come. Then it should be done in an orderly manner. Every member has an ID card. It has a form of identification. Stop every member. Come in, before you come in, the gate will be open for you. Let's see your ID card. If that conduct is happening, everybody will queue.
Wasn't that what happened? Because the police's statement said they were checking one after the other.
I think it's unfortunate that men who should tell us the truth or unravel the remote and immediate causes of events would continue to concoct lies. Because if you say strange men or thugs or funny people are coming into the house, would they be disdressed? You know, and secondly, there's a middle. You should you should be able to tell us. 360 members are members of the House. They have their ID cards. That's what I'm saying. You stop and search everybody's car. It's allowed. We're not saying that, but let us have access to the chambers.
You know, the spokesman for the police, in the statement released, says that the officers and men were assaulted. Let me read a portion of it. It says, in the course of this lawful exercise, they said they got intelligence that the National Assembly was going to be invaded on Thursday. So they came there and cordoned off the area. But in the course of this lawful exercise, Alhaji Aminu Tambuwal, CFR, arrived at the venue with a motley of crowd, a mixed crowd, who broke the cordon, assaulted the police, and evaded due process.
Yeah, I think everything should be on record. They should be able to provide clips of policemen being harassed. Rather, even when members got access into the chamber, the assembly complex, we've been tear gassed. In fact, the last canister landed on the foot of the speaker. He had to scamper into the foyer before he was horribly moved into the chamber. It's very unfortunate, because if they say the first shot could be accidental, what happened to the second, third, and the fourth one? That the fourth one even landed in the foyer. It's to say the least, very, very barbaric. And of course, people would sit and begin to, wherever you want. But you see, this is gradually grinding, because this is supposed to be an arm of government. And that not on our own volition that we came back from this break. There is a job to be done. And that's the job we want to go and do. Why you stop us from going to... We're not saying the police should not function. For God's sake, even if they like, they should bring the entire garment of security forces by the gate. But of course, let due process be followed. The same gate was where the Senate President passed through. The Deputy Speaker passed through the same gate. So, and why not allow members to have access and go in freely?
Now that's the question, because I've been a tad curious. We did see in the beginning of the report police conducting searches on vehicles. There was a long traffic line, and then police conducting searches on vehicles and, you know, passing them through. At what point then, I mean, what gate is this particular gate that they had to come down on foot and then, you know, the gate was locked? Was it at the very beginning of the National Assembly, or was this subsequently?
If you're used to the National Assembly, the first gate, that one had no problems. I mean, everybody could drive in it there. It's the last gate. And for that one coming from the National Secretariat, the Federal Secretariat rather. And when we arrived, it was a long queue of vehicles. We waited patiently. Cars were going in and in. It was a turn of the speaker's car to enter, and the convoy, the policemen stood in front of the vehicle. And please, can you clear, so that they were adamant. Nobody was listening. So at that point, it was clear to us that the speaker was being prevented from entering, and even members as well. So they had to drop from their vehicles.
Are these members of the National Assembly?
Yes. That's Honorable Rufai, that's Honorable Cheche. So they're all members of the National Assembly. One from Kaduna, one from Niger.
Did the members come with the speaker?
Yeah. Because when the speaker was coming, he came with about 10 members in his convoy. Because, I mean, normally before the speaker comes, which is usual, people would, some members who have some discussions to do with him will go to his house mornings before coming to the assembly. And sometimes they drive together to the assembly. And in this occasion, about 10 members drove with him to the assembly. And of course, on arriving there, they were prevented from entry. And the question, it started like a drama. And we're like, okay, maybe they needed to take instructions. And that was why at some point, the speaker had to introduce himself and say, I'm XYZ. Even if they don't know me, they don't know these honorable members I've mentioned, they should exactly know Tambuwal. And he introduced himself. Nobody was listening. Nobody cared to answer him. And the police, without being too biased on my own angle, I want to believe that the hooded men too who came in, because at some point when the speaker got access into the complex, there was a man who was hooded, about 2 of them precisely, holding guns, and were pushing him back So the man had to be forced off the way. Because the man was hooded. And we had complained about this. If you are coming to perform a legitimate duty, that's why your name tags are there. If I'm a policeman, Zakaria Mohammed, it will be there. So that when, and my service number will be there. Also when I commit certain crimes, or my face, so that you can identify me. But if I'm hooded, it can be anybody. It can just be anybody. It's disturbing that in a democracy, that we're allowing hooded men to go around.
Well, that
It portends a lot of danger for us.